Radical Jack here, day 40. That means 39 days gone and 49 days left. So I got to thinking about 7 sevens, 49, which is yeah, in effect 7 weeks. So yeah, I mean, I'm 2 days into a water fast. I'm going to do another water fast tomorrow, so that'll be 3 days just water. And I'm just trying to transition into new diet, you know. In effect, I had, you know, a whole 8 days, if you like, of not eating correctly, not really sticking with the fast, and yeah, I can see it now as a kind of like a backlash or a kickback or a you know, kicking and a screaming. You know, it's interesting. Like, once, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. You know, we kind of do that kind of thing. I certainly do it. I see a lot of people do it. You know, there's no such thing as going for one drink. You know, from my experience in watching people as well, and clear observations. So interesting, you know. To I mean, the kind of food, you know, that I ate wasn't so bad necessarily, but certainly I let sugar back into my system, and I did have a kickback towards things that I don't even, you know, I haven't even done for months or years even sometimes, you know. So basically, yeah, I could see there was a little bit of a rebelliousness, kickback towards a lot of things. But I had many epiphanies over the last since my birthday, since Paddy's Day, you know, until now, you know. So full day fasting yesterday, full day fasting today, full day fasting tomorrow, and in effect, there's 49 days, I think, left till either the dark of the moon where I finish, or the new moon, which is the following day. Either way, you know, it's a nice round number, and I realized something, you know, that I spoke to a friend about today, that you know, this for me is really just an introduction. You know, this is 88-day fast, even though it's not been impeccable. You know, it's not it's not just this one kind of little block where I'm going to do this thing and then just, you know, move back to where you know, pick up exactly where I left off, you know, because this is common in my life as well, as you might have experienced yourselves, or you know, you might resonate with, you know. So for me, definitely, I'm in this kind of state of building a foundation here. And so, you know, 49, next year I'll be 49, so I'm looking for an impeccable 7 weeks of 49 days, where I'm focused on building a foundation that I can build on from that point, you know. Now, as I said before, I'd like to continue into the summer, you know, not necessarily in the 1 meal a day, but certainly in a diet that is next to vegan, you know. And then to you know, after the end of the summer, certainly moving into autumn and winter, which I consider just winter, you know, as I do, well, no, sorry, summer, and autumn I consider summer, and winter and spring I consider just winter, you know. It's still pretty cold in the spring, and it's still pretty hot in the autumn. So, you know, so certainly I'll be looking at you know, what is the correct diet for me for the future, and you know, watching all the various things that have caught me in the past, you know. And I definitely got to say it again, you know, in relation to, I felt this light coming back into my eyes. I felt this kind of lightness in my body, and it was definitely a form of self-sabotage, you know. amongst other things. There was other things slipping in as well, you know. Certainly, you know, there's nothing to blame or anything like that, you know. But I am aware that there's many things at play here, you know, in relation to energy and how it works, you know. And there's no doubt about it, you know, that we live in a life which is pretty contrived and pretty controlled. And as I said before, we don't have to get into the conspiracies of this. We just have to look at stuff and think, you know, how can we take control of our lives? And certainly the food was one of those ways, you know. And when you set about to make that move, you can see how difficult it can be, you know. And as I said before, I blamed a lot of things on tobacco or alcohol or drugs or this or that or the other, you know. And often I made a mistake because I have as much a problem with food as a drug, you know, or as I have with certain things that are obviously taken over time, not good for us, you know. So the same could be said for seasonal eating, you know, or not, as were the case, where you know, we eat many things out of season, and well, you know, we have a lot of foods laced with sugar and a lot of processed foods that's devoid of mineral content, you know. So all in all, you know, you are what you eat. There's no doubt about that, you know. So wherever you're at in relation to whether you can be vegetarian or even vegan, or want to continue eating meat, I would certainly make a start in relation to you know, the kind of meat that you're going to eat, you know. And you know, there's people out there, they're not really interested in it. They have no belief system around, or knowing, or interest in, you know, researching what's actually going on in relation to mass production and mass produced meat and food in general. But it's a big issue, and it is, and it has been on many accounts related to a lot of the illness and disease that we have. So, you know, I'm slowly making my way back, you know, in this second day of the fast, and then you know, I rejigged and redesigned my routine, the actual 1 meal a day, the diet, what it's going to consist of. And I'm, over the next 24 hours, I'm really going to look at what exactly I'm going to allow myself in relation to. I haven't got it together to make the chaga mushroom tea, which is very earthy, or the carrageen moss, or whether I can make a mix of those two things as a kind of a wholesome drink, which is full of minerals, to help with you know, the longevity of the next 7 weeks. So I was starting to feel good, there's no doubt about that, and I've been in this position before where I've felt really energetic and much more energy. And the last couple of days, you know, I'm definitely feeling the full force of the fast, you know, just water fast, and I'm, you know, I'm going to take it easy tomorrow and slowly reintroduce myself into the 1 meal a day. But I am also aware that you know, I have lots of things I want to do, get done, and so, you know, I suppose the load and the weight of having to do having had to do the mountain climb, you know, the hill climb or whatever, you know, it was taking about 6 hours a day. That's serious weight off my shoulders now, and I've found myself a nice local sacred kind of patch of wood with a beautiful tree and a place to meditate and catch the sunrise and the sunset. So I can literally walk out the door and I don't have to go too far away. I already have enough running around to do, as it were. I'm trying to break that down to a minimum. You know, where some days I'm not going to leave the house at all. I've got enough to do, you know, except for my little walks and my you know, sun ablution and what have you. Basically, as of tomorrow morning, I'm going to try and introduce myself into into exercise every day, however small or large it is, and the cold water ablution, i.e. getting under a cold shower for X amount of time and working that up daily. You know, if you haven't checked out Wim Hof, the Iceman, please do. You know, he's got some amazing stuff on how to, these breathing exercises that can alkaline the system within 5 or 10 minutes. and also the cold water. Listening to him talk about that and what it actually does is really beneficial. And since it's warming up a little bit, it's a lot easier to get into cold showers than it were, say, last week. So yeah, I'm gonna try and move into that area where I'm doing a little bit of everything, and trying to get to bed early so I can get up early, because the sunrise is going to get earlier and earlier, and I love that time in the summer, and so yeah, I've noticed a lot of people, certain friends have said, there's times when I look weary and times when I look amazing. You can see that the couple of times where I've had that little kind of relapse on food, certainly the last week, you can see the difference in my energy, and it's clear, and also certainly, like, I'm still withdrawing from other things like tobacco and sugar and what have you. It's and it does it takes its toll, and it has different kind of obstacles, and the further you get away from things, certain things, like sometimes get a really bad headache, and then once that lifts, it's like, wow, just like a rebirth, And so, the goal really now is since I'm in my my new year of my 48th, going to my 49th year on the planet, I really want to honor that. So it's going to be more like a focus of a year and a day, just to start with, in relation to building this foundation, and so then building the foundation with the 88-day fast. It's just the beginning, really, and then therefore, the year really is about preparing and building that foundation and clearing that garden, so to speak, And then my goal is really is to build myself up over a 8-year period, which is to bring me to 55. And that's my main goal, because my focus is my little girl as well, in relation to being here for her until she's 16. And it's not she that's flying the nest, then it's me that's flying the nest, and that's my plan. My plan really is, having experienced how time works, I might have said this before, but how quick 8 years can go, in the way that we look at time as we get older, and how fast it can fly, and how much you can do when you're really constructive and grounded and not being distracted, by the mundane and the various things that exist out there, whether it be television or dead ends, wasted time on projects, being caught by other people's dreams and visions, and being used and abused by whatever, it's all there in experience, and then that experience can then stand you once it's applied, because we get to a point where we don't suffer fools that easy as we get older, and that is experience, and that's worth something then when it's applied, because this is it, experience is not worth anything unless it's applied, what's it all for if we don't apply it? So, this is where I'm at. I'm focused on applying application, applying into my life, over the next 8 years as much as I can, to build myself up till eventually, that is the plan, where I've grounded myself enough and studied enough, experienced enough, played my guitar and developed myself musically, and grounded myself enough in all these areas that when I fly the nest, proper, I hope to travel the world and bring my vibe with me, and be self-sustainable, self-reliant, i.e., engross myself with enough music that I can, literally take out a tin whistle if I don't have the guitar with me, or the harp, or whatever, tell a story, and busk my way at very least, or sing for my supper, and so this is my goal, this is my plan ultimately, and so I'm really excited now, having made that discovery or rediscovery or remembered, just how hard it is for me just to stay in one place sometimes, and and I feel like, okay, I've been working fairly hard in order to be able to get this and create this space where I can be still and put vegetables in the ground and free as many birds with one stone as possible in that area of being in one space. So that's what we have to say today. Blessed be, peace and love, and looking forward to the next 49 days. Peace and love.